Greetings everyone, this is Redberryweo here, and welcome back to another quick Civil Air Patrol video. In today's video, we're going to talk about the Achievement 1 drill test and everything that's going to be associated with it. So, for everyone's situational awareness, I did post a video recently talking about how they updated the CAPP pamphlet 60-34, which is the Drill and Ceremonies testing pamphlet, just to make sure that we're all in alignment with the Civil Air Patrol requirements for drill and ceremonies. So there have been a couple of changes, and just in general, they added more guidance for how we conduct these tests. So this first test is to just go over the basics of standard stationary drill. So this whole video is going to be going over everything for the Achievement 1, and then there will be more videos coming out soon. As of posting this video, this is just going to be the first one. So hopefully you'll be able to see the rest of the series as it comes out over time. So to talk through some of the basic requirements for the test, you are allowed to have up to 2 people taking the test at a time, but you need to have 1 testing officer per person testing. And when I say testing officer, I mean like an adult leader who is watching the test take place. So ideally you would have 1 cadet who is facilitating, leading the commands, and is also able to observe what the flight is doing, or like what the element is doing, because in this one it's basically an element formation. And then have a testing officer per person who is being tested for this Achievement 1 test. You will need at least 3 cadets to form up an element, and if you have 2 of them testing, that's fine, but just make sure you've got at least 3 people who are in the element at the time that the test takes place. Something that my unit does is that we have kind of like a more senior cadet flight where it's not the general training flights, it's cadets who are cadet tech sergeant and higher, and then those cadets during the drill block actually get pulled to help fill in for slots during like those phase 1 tests, because they are familiar with those drill maneuvers and they can execute them correctly. The passing score for the Achievement 1 drill test is getting an 11 out of 15, which means it's like about a 73% in order to pass this test. The first command for this test is fallen, and it's called fallen. So flat inflection, and it's just one cohesive command. It's all said succinctly together and not 2 very separated words. And that's a common mistake. That's the reason why I'm bringing it up. So when you fall in, it's going to be starting with the first person in the element, and then it's going to work its way to the left. So people fall in after that. You do an automatic dress right dress when you fall in, and then you're going to stand at attention. Automatic dress right dress is going to be putting your arm up. It's going to be parallel to the ground, 90 degrees from your body, and you're just checking to make sure that the person who falls in next to you is the correct spacing away. As soon as someone else falls in, then you can drop your arm and stand at attention. To go over the steps of being at attention, just so that we're all on the same page here, we've got our feet that are separated at a 45-degree angle, so our heels are together but our toes are apart. Then moving up, you're making sure that your knees are not locked. Locking your knees can cause you to pass out while you are standing at attention, standing in a formation, and it's not ideal. So just make sure that you are not locking your knees in order to have proper blood flow, so you can like slightly shift the weight between your knees and like bending your knees just a little bit. It shouldn't be super obvious when you do it, but just slowly doing it just so that you maintain circulation would be very good. Next thing, moving up, you've got your arms, and so your hands should be at the seam of your pants, and they're going to be in fists, basically like this, and you're going to have your thumbs facing forward while you are standing there. And then I want to point out a common mistake that I've seen with standing at attention, where I've seen chicken wings, where it's like the hands are too high up on the body and it actually creates a look of like chicken wings. The elbows should be pinned to the sides of your body when you're standing at attention. So there should not be like a massive gap. So if you have your hands at the seam of your pants and then you've got your elbows pinned, then that will help with keeping your arms nice and straight. The next thing with standing at attention is that your shoulders should be relaxed. Sometimes people like to hunch up like this, just nice relaxed, and then elbows pinned, nice and relaxed with your hands at the seam of your pants. All right, and then the last part is going to be looking straight ahead. So you're just going to be doing eyes on the horizon. You're not looking up, you're not looking down, just eyes on the horizon. And some people like to puff their chests out. You don't need to do that. You can just be relaxed and just Nice, relaxed pose. Like that. But when you are standing at attention, you should not be looking around. You shouldn't be moving around. I did mention the knees, like small movements back and forth to maintain circulation. It shouldn't be obvious though, right? And you're not like actively itching or scratching. You're not talking to other people. Standing at attention is just you are standing with the positioning that I just described, and you're not doing anything until you're instructed to do so. Otherwise, by whoever is leading your element or your flight. So after you've done that automatic dress right dress, you did your ready front, and everyone has fallen into the element, you're standing at attention, let's move on to that next drill maneuver. We've got parade rest. So it's basically like attention, but in a more relaxed body position. So think of it as like working our way down, like from the bottom to the top again. Instead of your feet being together, your heels are going to be 12 inches apart, and you're only moving your left foot out. Your right foot should remain frozen. All right, so moving that left foot out, the heel is going 12 inches away, and working our way up, making sure you're not locking your knees. And your hands, you're going to have your left hand and your right hand. You're going to put your right hand in the palm of your left hand, and you're going to have them overlap. And you're going to cover your butt with your hands. Some military branches like to have their hands up a little bit higher, like in the small of their back. With the United States Air Force style drill and ceremonies, we do not do that high. We do it a little bit lower, so it's not going to be as high. Then the last step is just that you're not moving your head, you're not moving your eyes, you're just remaining immobile and silent. You're not saying anything. And then I just wanted to call out differences between parade rest, at ease, and at rest. At ease is also on the test, and I'll cover it a little bit again. I'll review it later. But just to cover the differences, the positioning is going to be the same between those three maneuvers: parade rest, at ease, and at rest. However, what you can do is different. So at ease, if you need to scratch something, if you need to move your left foot, you can. The main thing is that you cannot move your right foot. It is stationary in place, and you are not allowed to talk. If you need to say something, then you'd probably just raise your hand, and then you'd get permission to do whatever you need to from your flight staff. But the other one, at rest, is if you want to talk, then you are allowed to talk. So that one's not on the test, but at ease and parade rest are. So just wanted to call that out while talking about parade rest, just so that you understand the differences between those three. For situational awareness, the way parade rest is called is parade rest. And it's just succinct command. That's how it'll sound. And then when you are called back to attention, it'll be flight, tench, hut. And you'll snap back to attention. Next one is going to be present arms, and that's basically going to a salute and holding the salute until you're instructed to drop the salute. So it's called present arms, and you're standing at attention, and then as you hear the command present arms, you smartly are going to bring your right hand up. You're going to open up your hand as you're bringing it up, and you are going to make sure that your upper arm is parallel to the ground. Your arm, your forearm, and your hand are going to be flat. You're going to have the tip of your fingers against the tip of your eyebrow. If you've got glasses, then it'll be the tip of your glasses. If you've got headgear on, then it's going to be the tip of the brim of whatever you're wearing. And if you've got like a flight cap on, then you're just going to do eyebrows. But you're going to do present arms and then time it like that. And then you're going to hold it. And you're just going to hold it until you're told order arms, and then you're going to bring it back down again. And you're going to cup your hand again, right about like halfway as you are bringing it down. And then your hands are going to go back to the seam of your pants. So present arms and order arms are like you're going up to the position of holding a salute and then you're bringing it back down. Hand salute is a little bit different in that it's just a up, down. Next command that I want to talk about is about face. So it's called about face. So it's got an H sound in the front of it. Just want to call that out. Same thing with arms that we just went over with present arms and order arms. Anyway, back to about face. So with about face or about face, that one is a little bit tricky, and so I do have a video here that I am going to put in that was pre-recorded. Basically, you are going to trace the C with your right toe so that it's a couple of inches behind your left heel. And when you turn, I want you to make sure that you're pressing pressure with your left heel on the ground and your right toe on the ground so that your heels come together, and you will be rotating to the right, rotating your whole body to the right as you are applying that pressure with your left heel and your right toe. I know it is a very tricky maneuver, but just practice it, do your best. Slow it down if you need to, but once you get the hang of it, you can start to speed it up. Common mistakes that I've seen with it are doing both of the toes at the same time, or the right toes are going way too far away from the left heel, so the feet actually end up apart. Just keep those things in mind, and hopefully that will help with doing the about face. So just practice it a lot, and then once you've gotten the hang of it, then you should be good to go for whenever you need to turn around and someone tells you to about face and you're doing your stationary drill. One other thing that I will say about the test is that if you do not get it the first time, it intentionally has about face a second time. So if you don't get it the first time, then you've got a second shot to get it. If you do not get it the first time, but you get it the second time, it still counts. It still counts as you meeting the standards. It's just another opportunity for you to show that you understand the maneuver. It's a difficult one, and so they have it there twice to help with facilitating, trying to help you be successful with passing your test. So it's not just a one shot, and then if you don't get it, then you just don't get it. You got 2 shots to do it, so make the most of it. Dress right dress is the next thing, and we talked a little bit about it earlier with the automatic dress right dress, but this time you're actually going to hold it. The purpose of dress right dress is to make sure that the flight is properly aligned from left to right. Dress right dress is to just verify that you're back in the same positioning that you need to be in. So to go over body positioning, if you are the first person in the element, then you are not going to move your head. You're going to keep looking straight ahead. You're going to lift your arm so that it is parallel to the ground or 90 degrees from your body. And you're just going to continue to stand in your spot. Whoever is that first person, whether you're a guide on bearer, if you are just the first person in the element, like the element leader, then you're going to maintain this positioning. Everyone else is also going to do that. However, they also are going to do a head 45. And that is to verify where the person to their right is located, and then make sure that they're lined up correctly. All right, so you're going to do that. You're going to do dress right dress. And one thing that I have sometimes observed is cadets will do like a like push the person away if they're too close. If you are too close to the person next to you, like to your left, like put your hand up like slightly behind them, and then have your hand kind of like tap their shoulder from behind, like right here, rather than like smacking them away, because you want it to look professional, right? You want to have a great professional appearance, and you're working together as a team through your awesome drill and ceremonies practices. And if you like smack the other person, let's just not do that. Let's promise right now to not smack the person next to us. Please, thank you. And then we're gonna just gently put our hand up, and if they're too close, then they should take small shuffly movements away. Small shuffly movements away so that they are at the tip of your fingers here. All right? If you were to have multiple people behind you, then the people who are behind you should be lining up with the first row of people. One other thing for dress right dress, if you don't have anyone to the left of you, then you do not need to put your arm out. You can just stand at attention with your head 45. But if there is someone next to you, then you are expected to have your arm up at 90 degrees. And then if you are a flight sergeant here, just as like a quick pro tip, don't forget you're supposed to check the alignment of everyone in the element by going to like the right of whoever is the furthest to the right of your element, and then you're checking to see what the spacing is and telling people to move forward or backward if they're not lined up correctly. It's not on this test. It is on a later one, so I'm just giving you a heads up that that is a thing that you should be doing anytime you're doing dress right dress, because the point is to make sure that the alignment is correct. Okay, just getting that out there. Next, you're going to do ready front, because you're going back to attention. So once the alignment is verified, then you're just gonna, if you're doing your head 45 and your arm is parallel to the ground and everyone's lined up and they say ready front, then you're just gonna drop your arm. Easy enough. Next one's going to be right face, and it's called right face, and it's just turning 90 degrees to the right. So, as I show in this quick video here, you are going to be lifting your right toes and your left heel, put pressure on the left toes and the right heel, and then you're going to bring your left foot to catch up to your right foot. So that's lifting your right toes, left heel, push off on like the 2 points of contact you still have on the ground, and then bringing your heels together. So just think of it as you're lifting the toes for the direction that you are going. So you're going to the right, you're lifting your right toes. If you're going to the left for left face or left face, then you're going to be lifting your left toes. Cover, which really wasn't previously on drill tests, but it is something that the Air Force really actively uses. It's just to make sure that everyone in the column is lined up correctly and that everyone is in alignment. So the command is cover, and you're just going to take small choppy steps as needed to make sure that you're behind the person who's directly in front of you. So you did that right face, so you went from line formation into column formation. Whoever is the furthest frontward of the column is going to be setting where the formation needs to be placed, and then everyone behind is going to take small choppy steps to fix their spacing and cover as needed. Then it's just going to be a left face or left face. Same thing as the right face from earlier, but remember, if you're going to the left, then you should be lifting your left toes. Next is going to be eddies. We went over eddies earlier, so that's just going to be called eddies. And everyone is going to go to the position similar to what you were doing for parade rest, but it is also where if you need to move, you can move. You're just not allowed to move your right foot, and you are not allowed to talk. In the test itself, it says relaxing in a standing position. Just best practice is standing in the same position as if you were in parade rest, because when you're about to go to attention, like when they're like flight, tench, hut, when you hear the preparatory command, you should be at the position of parade rest. So instead of like I don't know, being like this or something, just stand in the position of parade rest, but relaxed. And if you need to scratch, if you need to move around, you can. You can move your left foot around. Just keep that right foot in place and make sure you're not talking. Then we've got hand salute. So like we did with present arms and order arms, it's going to be a salute, but instead of holding it, it's going to be a 2-count command. Fun fact, commands are typically called at 112 to 120 beats per minute. And the way that you execute the command should be in time with how it is called at that pace. So it'll be around that timing for situational awareness, but it'll be called hand salute, and you go 1, 2. All right, I'll do it one more time. Hand salute, 1, 2. And so you'll be standing at the position of attention. You'll be uncupping your hand, and you'll be putting your hand at the tip of whatever you're wearing, or if it's your eyebrow, then your eyebrow. And then you'll be bringing it back down again. You need to make sure that you've got the right posture as you are doing it, and you've got the right positioning. Okay? So, hand salute, 1, 2. For eyes right, anyone who is not the furthest to the right is going to just do their heads 45. If you are the rightmost, then you're going to keep your eyes straight ahead. Pretty straightforward. So, eyes right. Ready, front. And then if you are not someone to the left and you're just standing on the right side, then you just kind of stand at attention the whole time. Then for fall out, the way it's called is fall out. Just fall out. You just walk away. You remain in the vicinity, but you just walk away. You just simply break away. Common thing that I have seen as a mistake is doing an about face. But we don't do that. We don't do that. We just walk away. Okay? So, we've gone through all of the Achievement 1 maneuvers, and I had a couple of demo videos, a couple of pictures thrown in here for you, just to help you visualize what you need to do. I hope this was a useful resource for you to learn drill. I know I personally learned things wrong when I first learned drill, and man, is it really hard to break bad habits. But I am doing my best to overcome those bad habits that I had developed and make sure that everyone here is on the same page and is doing the correct maneuvers. So if you do have any questions, if you have any thoughts, feel free to include them in the comments down below. I have also included a link to the Drill and Ceremonies website if you'd like to take a look at any of the tests or the new pamphlet. That's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and that is all, folks. Until next time, toodles.